Today's video is sponsored by W Jitterless Energy Blend, formulated to give you the focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented Neurofactor, with more than 10 different flavors to enjoy and start your day strong. Are you ready to try W? Visit W.GG today and use promo code ARROWWAN to save 10% on your purchase today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you guys enjoy our content on the channel, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below to show some love. Also follow us on our streaming platforms, kick.com/ArrowEntertainment and twitch.tv/ArrowENT. And without any further ado, let's get into today's video. So in case you've seen my content in the past, and not only am I into video games and reviewing board games as well, but I'm also, I wouldn't say I'm an avid tabletop card player, but a few years ago I've gotten into playing Magic the Gathering, which is a very fun strategic card game to play amongst others like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and such. And I figured before my trip to Gettysburg, I did pay a visit to GameStop, and I picked up something that I really want to review with you guys and show you guys. And this is a set for Magic the Gathering. This is the Assassin's Creed starter kit, and it was only 20 bucks. It comes with 2 pre-made decks. It's a starter kit, so if you guys want to kickstart playing Magic the Gathering, this is the way to go. And especially for those of you who are fans of Assassin's Creed, like I said, this has 2 ready to play 60 card decks for anybody who's into playing Magic the Gathering. So let's pop this open and see what we got inside. So this is the Assassin's Creed Magic the Gathering starter kit deck. Like I said, we popped this from GameStop probably a little over a couple weeks ago, depending on the release of this video. And I do have a few decks for Magic the Gathering, and I will probably do a video in the future on what I have if you guys are interested, if you guys are into playing MTG. So, they really make it kind of difficult to get this stuff out. So, what comes in the pack is, of course, you have a booklet that talks about the starter kit, tells you about the different mana icons when it comes to the cards, gives you a table of contents of what is included, and this is how to set up the game area if you want to learn how to play. And it talks more about the game itself, the library, what goes in your hand, what goes on the battlefield, what goes in the graveyard and such. So this is an instruction booklet on how to get started with the game and how to play it. And then over here, I believe there were supposed to be 2. Yep, there are 2 boxes. And it used to be where they would come in these thick boxes, not like these, and the boxes would already be pre-made. But I guess in this case, you just got to fold them. There we go. It's like making a pizza box, you know, at Domino's or something. So there is 1 box. I'm not too sure who that character is. I don't remember seeing her in any of the games. And of course, I guess this could be Ezio, who is the main protagonist in a few of the Assassin's Creed games, such as Assassin's Creed 2 and such. So we'll just put the boxes together. They got some pretty cool box art, so we'll set those aside as well. And then what comes in here? Well, I guess that emptied itself out. So we have 2 decks. Okay, so yes, that was Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2. He was in several different entries in Assassin's Creed, and this is Eivor. I guess that's how you pronounce her name, Eivor Battle Ready. So let's take a look at her deck so far. And usually with a new deck of cards, if you turn it on the back, you usually have little advertisements, you know, scan card. Let's learn how to play Magic, or learn to play. And of course, discover the coolest cards. You always have those in the back. And then dealing off from the back, a lot of these decks usually come with what are called token cards. Yeah, token creatures. And they usually come in handy during gameplay if certain cards have certain attributes or abilities that require you to summon something called a token card. And this is basically our card that tells you what your phase is when it's your turn. When you draw a card, your main phase combat, you get another main phase when you end your turn. And then of course it tells you how to lay out your cards in attack mode and when you're blocking. So that's always good to have when learning how to play. And then usually spell and creature cards aside, each deck comes with what's called mana cards, and it's usually a good number of them, just not too many. Mana cards are required to bring certain cards out on the field, like creatures and spells and such. And you can see a lot of plains, mountains, and of course this is, I guess, is only a red and white deck as they call it. White is for plains and red is for mountains. And I like the artwork on these cards. It has a pretty cool artwork from the games or whoever illustrated them. I mean, there's also novels and comic books based on Assassin's Creed. And we got certain creatures, we got enchantment cards, instant cards, which are usually, you play them during any time. You can play them during your play, or you can play them during your opponent's play. And we also got some cards here that are considered land cards, which can help you out. You can lay them out at any time. Like tap this card comes in tapped, and then this, when you tap it again to use it, you add an extra mana to what you're laying out. So as it says in here, like when it comes to blocking or attacking, when you put a card out, basically you usually put it out like this, straightforward, or when it comes in tapped, of course it comes in like that, which means you can't use it during that play. You have to wait till the next turn to untap the card and such. So there's 3 extra land cards there. We have a couple artifacts, of course, and they have different abilities, and they talk a little bit about the card itself. Let's look at the creatures though. So when it comes to summoning a creature, or even playing a enchantment or an instant card, if you look at the top, there is mana requirements for pulling these cards. As you see, this one requires 3, which means any 3 random mana cards, a mountain and a plains card. So that would mean if I want to play this card from my hand, I would have to have 1 plain, 1 mountain, and any 3 others. So I can have 3 of these out, I can have 3 of these out, I can mix match them, I can put 1 of these out on the field, and then you would tap all these cards and you'll be able to bring this card out in the field. And when you first bring these cards out in the field, you cannot attack with them right away. You have to wait until your next turn to use those cards. But this is considered a legendary creature, and for those of you who do play Magic the Gathering and you understand all the terminology, Eivor has vigilance, which is attacking does not cause this creature to tap. So you can pretty much attack with this card and you don't have to tap it. You can use it the next turn. This one has haste. This creature can attack as soon as it comes under your control. Whenever it attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipment you control to each opponent. And I believe there were equipment cards which attach to each of these creatures, but that's a whole other thing. Then we got like a creature wall. This is a defender creature. This cannot attack. Other creatures you control will gain a +1/+0, and I'll explain that here real quick. So each creature that comes out has a life bar right there, 5/5, and the first number is always your attack number. The second number is your defense number. So let's say your opponent has a 2/2 creature, if you guys can see that, and I have a 5/5 creature. Let's say I go to attack my opponent directly, which is what you can, and your opponent can use their card to block. Now what this would do, my card would attack this card with 5 power. So his defense is only 2, so he would die with a power of 3. Or if he were to attack my card, blocking it, he would only do 2 damage I won't die because I have a defense of 5, so that would take my defense down to 3 for that game, for that turn. So either way, this card will die off because this number is higher than this number. That is basically pretty much how the defense and attacking is when it comes to this game. Now let's take a look at some of what people would consider like rare cards, I guess, that would come in the deck. So we got Ezio, Brash Novice. This is a legendary creature. That looks like a good one. Whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on him. As long as Ezio has 2 or more counters on it, it has first strike and is an assassin in addition to other types. That is pretty cool. But like I said, I do like the artwork with this card. Same as with this one. This is another legendary creature. Was that Arbaz Mir? I guess that was another assassin in the game. And these are creature walls. So, I don't know. Maybe those weren't like rare cards. Kind of like how this one is. I think they're somewhere further down here. Oh, we got 3 of these. What are they? Bureau Headmasters. Equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And equipped abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. So that's a pretty good card to have out. Cost you less mana to activate certain abilities. So yeah, that is pretty much this deck right here. It does have a lot, like I said, it has a lot of good artwork. So whoever goes and doing the artwork for all these cards, especially any deck randomly through Magic the Gathering, they do a really amazing job. I like this one, Hook Blade, that comes right out of his wrist. Oh, this one's a pretty cool one, Keen Eye Raven. That is a nice, I like that. That's a nice little Raven card right there. But yeah, if you guys see anything at all, like, you can always feel free to pause to look at the artwork. Head Splitter. So yeah, if you're into Assassin's Creed, if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed series, and you like Magic the Gathering, you probably will like playing with these cards. And so here is Ezio, Blade of Vengeance. I like this one, 5/5 of course. This has Death Touch. Any amount of damage this card deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Here's one card, Achilles Davenport. I love that artwork right there. Another legendary creature, free running. That's an ability I've never seen. And then of course we got all stuff like Auditory, Ambush. Now some cards will have like 2 different attributes to them that you can choose one of. Like this one is return the target creature to owner hand. Like let's say you pull it out, you can return any creature from on your opponent's side of the field, or you could do it to yours if you've got a strategy for it. Or target player searches their library or graveyard for a card named Ezio, and then of course put it in their hand. That's usually pretty good if you're trying to pull out some card, and then of course if you're pulling it out from your deck, you can always shuffle your deck so you can get a better chance of drawing something better than what you got. And I can tell this is already a black-blue deck by the blue cards, which is like water mana. So yeah, if we go back here, yeah, we got Island, and then of course we got Swamp Island deck. Usually when you put a Magic deck together, you don't want to have too many attributes unless there's certain creatures that you want to put in there that require more than 2 attributes of a different type. But mostly you want to try to have at least a variation of 2 to work with, especially like swamp creatures. They have certain abilities that will go well with other creatures that are of another attribute. Yeah, like this one, Brotherhood Patriarch. When this dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So basically, this card, this is brand new to me. I'm just reading this. Like, it makes sense, but it then doesn't make sense. But apparently, when this one dies, even though each opponent loses 2 life, okay, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. Okay, so I thought it was like you lose 2 life and then you gain it back, but no. Whoever you're playing against, they lose 2 life and then you gain 2 life. So these two cards put together, was there 3? No, there's just 2. So these cards put together, like, yeah, that's a good one right there in case if you're on a losing streak, you know, and that card dies, they lose life, and then you gain life. So yeah, these cards, oh, I love this. Brotherhood Ambushers. I love that artwork right there. Free running, let's see, you may cast this spell for its free running cost if you've dealt combat damage to a player this turn. Oh wow, and that's got a really good, yeah, 6/3. Yeah. Especially like, even though these decks are made for the Assassin's Creed theme, if you collect any other cards, I'm pretty sure, like, well, you can mix match different cards with any decks at all. And that is pretty much the starter kit for the Assassin's Creed Magic the Gathering decks. What do you guys think about it? Did you come across any cards in here that you like or that's your favorite? Let us know down in the comments section. What do you think of this? Are you an avid Magic the Gathering player? We do have a server on our Discord if you guys want to be part of that and you guys want to talk about tabletop games such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and such. Let us know. Link for our Discord is right down below in the description section. Guys, thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this video today, and we will catch you in the next one.